membership, explaining our actual membership and what we do.
Okay, so the membership. Hey guys, 4 categories. We start off with psychologically alert level members. These are members from right across the social arena. Whether you are a social worker, teacher, law enforcement, legal team, family support worker, community youth worker, if you use psychology in any way, shape or form, that membership there gives you access to some of the best therapeutic professionals in the country, and you get that support. So you can provide the best information and the best support to the people that you work with and the people you work for.
This applies to every single parent out there, because when you raise your child with psychological support behind you and access to psychological support, you end up raising a child that is confident, that's comfortable expressing how they think, how they feel. You get techniques that you would never get anywhere else. And if there's one thing we need, it's parents that are capable of understanding psychology, so that the way they work with children actually helps their child and helps their relationship with their child. Now, for me, that's about the next generation. I don't care if you're a parent, a paratrooper, I don't care if you're a pediatrician. I absolutely believe every single person needs access to instantaneous psychological support. We provide that to our supervisors. We provide that by giving 2 hours, part of our membership, free supervision, and that supervision is there to guide, nurture, educate and support. That's what our supervisors do. And credit where credit's due, they are phenomenal individuals, and let's not forget their work as well. We all need somebody. We're there for them, they're there for us. Teamwork all works together. So parents, don't forget, this is as much about your children and raising them happily in the ways that you would really want to raise them, for the next generation to end up being more confident than any generation on this planet has ever been.
Okay, so the next category, the next category within the membership is MIT. Now, we're not talking about the Institute of Technology in Massachusetts. We're talking about members in training. Why is this different, Von?
This is different because when I trained, I didn't have this support. I didn't have this guidance. I walked into a classroom and I had to do the best that I could, but having that support, and I was fortunate throughout my training that I ended up with a phenomenal supervisor who was part of my training and guided me onwards and upwards. For me personally, for somebody in training to have access to support, nurturing and educating throughout their course is one of the best ways to become the best therapist on this planet. Self-awareness is imperative. Without that self-awareness, you will never be as good for your clients as you need to be. So looking after us first means that we get to look after somebody else down the line. If that isn't the ethos of what we do, I don't know what is.
So getting that support while that learning process is underway is absolutely crucial. Let's get those seeds of the future growing in the right way, right from the very beginning, and make sure that when they become, and they come into our next category in a moment, they are the best that they can be for the clients that they will serve into the future. So once someone's qualified, there is a 12-month period where they are post-qualified professionals. And that post-qualified period is where the majority of professionals will be finding their feet, how they want to work. Do they want private practice? Do they want to work for another organization? Do they want to develop their own niches and their own specializations? And we'll come to specializations shortly, I'm sure. But having that post-qualified category in that member in training allows for that growth at that very early stage. It's a bit like when a toddler is starting to learn how to walk. Not all the time do you let go of their hands. You let go sometimes, but you let them fall, you pick them back up. MIT is that category where we allow for that growth, and we encourage and we nurture and we support. Once they've been through that 12 months.
sorry, David, it's also one of the most important times to have a supervisor there, because you have just qualified. If you go into private practice, it's a very isolating experience without that supervisor in the background. All it takes is one emergency situation, your own supervisor to be completely unavailable for whatever reason, sickness, holidays, you name it. Well, you've got 2 hours where you can call on any supervisor of our own, and they'll be there for you, and they will help, guide and assist you in whatever way you need in that moment. It is imperative, as a therapist that believes so consciously in regular supervision to help with clients, it is imperative that every professional, they bend over backwards to make sure that their supervision is the best of the best. And it's so important for clients.
It's crucial that understanding that a supervisor is there to nurture and support, APA is there to nurture and support. That network that goes behind every single one of our members is absolutely crucial. And the networks that we have to provide that support, confidential, secure, safe, are all the things that, as any professional grows, they keep growing with the right support. So, third category.
And I want to add, just want to add something, David.
Okay.
Supervision is the same as finding a therapist. Did you hear me?
Go for it.
Can you hear me? Yeah, sorry. Supervision is just as important in the connection to your supervisor as it is and would be with a therapist. A supervisor is not there to criticize you. They are not there to judge you. They are there to guide, accept, nurture and educate and support. If you are uncomfortable with your supervisor, listen to you. I've heard horror stories of supervision. It's not necessary. Find another one. There's multitudes of great supervisors out there. Find them. The APA ones, I recommend them day in, day out.
Yeah. And they get referrals through APA. It's absolutely phenomenal. So, third category, our qualified accredited member. Von, there's a lot of speculation around what qualified and accredited means. Do you want to break it down?
Yes, every therapist that studies for 450 hours in front of a tutor and qualifies in counselling psychotherapy is a qualified individual. Now, our membership means that when you join our membership, you join as an accredited individual under that criteria of APA-QAM, in which case it's about being qualified when you are qualified in uni, when you are qualified through that 450 hours. Once you have done that, you are deemed qualified. So we have made it so that 1, you save money, 2, you get an accreditation. But I am going to add, we're one of the strongest assessors out there. In fact, we're the only organisation that doesn't just work on academia alone. We believe in the personality of the therapist to connect to their clients, and that means being self-aware. So yes, we do have a verbal conversation of discovery because it's about knowing who you are. It's about knowing how comfortable you are. It's about throwing you into a situation when you're thrown into situations with clients, and you need to know how to manage that, how to work with that. But to be very, very clear, 450 hours in front of a tutor. I know we've had the pandemic, so things have shifted, but 450 hours face-to-face study, counselling as a psychotherapist qualifies you as a qualified professional. Don't let any organisation tell you differently. Our accreditation doesn't ask you to do 100 more hours, another 200 hours, another 300 hours. No, we ask you to respect our process. And once you have succeeded at going through our process, you become qualified and accredited. That's where we sit, and that's what we believe is right.
Okay, so it is slightly unique. So that peer-based conversation of discovery is carried out by qualified accredited members of APA. It's not carried out by the executive unless special measures are put in place, and that is very, very rare. Let's be clear. This is not about you filling in a form paying some money and getting a badge. This is about conversation that replicates that first contact with a client. And if you are uncomfortable with the idea of having a peer-based conversation, then really take a look at whether or not this is the career path for you. APA is exclusive for a reason. So, final category, Von, the APA execs and our ambassadors. You want to run that one through?
Well, I can honestly say, having invited ambassadors to support APA, we have got some of the best ambassadors in England, in the USA. Windy Dryden is one of our supporters, the most phenomenal man. And I am so proud that I can pick up the phone to Windy at any time. And if you like, have a good old rant in his ear. I don't, but I can, because he's allowed me to. And there is nothing more important for me. Yeah. To feel treated so equally. The people that we meet, and I'm thinking of Asa Don Brown in America, he came from Harvard University. To have that kind of quality in our membership says it all. They've looked at our membership, they support our membership, they know exactly what we are trying to achieve, and we are trying to achieve. In fact, we are achieving, we're not trying, we are achieving a better standard of a mental health practitioner for a client to sit in front of. And when you are met with that level of equality, acceptance, understanding from people that realistically have so much power within themselves, and yet they don't use that power negatively, they use it to embrace humanity, and they've embraced APA like we could never ask anybody to embrace us, and we are incredibly fortunate. So just to pull those two out is an amazing thing to achieve.
I'm just going to put, and I'm glad that you kind of given me the space to do this afternoon. I want to put a very special shout out to one of our ambassadors in Brazil. Jeff Newton is a phenomenal ambassador for APA and has been for pretty much our entirety, hasn't he? Is absolutely brilliant. I want to say a massive thank you to Jeff, but also to Windy, to Asa, and to the other ambassadors. And if you want to know who they are, hit up the website, go to the directory and take a look. That list is there.